Hello, Premiere Pro users, and welcome to this Week in Premiere video podcast. This is all the greatest Premiere Pro stuff from the week ending on the 1st of July. And I'm just going to tell you right up, the long holiday weekend caught me by surprise. So I'm going to be burning through this Week in Premiere. It's going to go fast. And, maybe it'll help the ratings. So let's get started. First matter of business, Premiere Pro news. This week in Premiere we have 5 awesome Premiere Pro CC 2015.3 reviews. I'm just going to give you a quick snapshot of each one. If you want more details, go to premierebro.com/weekinpr, PR for Premiere Pro, and check out this week in Premiere for some more summary of these 5 Premiere Pro CC 2015.3 reviews. Let's get to it. But before we get too deep into our Premiere Pro headlines for this week in Premiere, a gentle reminder from Pro Video Coalition to update at your own risk. This blog post comes from editor and blogger extraordinaire Scott Simmons, who gives us the lowdown on the risks of updating too early to Premiere Pro CC 2015.3. He gives some great counsel on how to do it safely. And, as always, don't do it in the middle of a current working job. Just not a good idea. Feel free to download it and do some dummy tests first. It's awesome. Great tips from Scott Simmons, as always. Check it out. First Premiere Pro CC 2015.3 review comes from Premium Beat by author Jason Boone, who's been doing a lot of great writing over at Premium Beat. Go check out his great work. Anyway, in this post, Jason shares his, I think it's top 5 favorite features of the update, and these do not include the proxy workflows, VR, HSL secondary tools. These are smaller features that Jason talks about, and that's what I recommend this post for. The second review comes from Story and Heart, and this is just a great overview of Premiere Pro CC 2015.3 and all the new and cool features in it. If you're looking for a shorthand version of everything that's awesome in Premiere Pro CC 2015.3, I recommend you read this article by Story and Heart. Next up, and probably the most popular Premiere Pro CC 2015.3 review I've seen, at least on Twitter, comes from F-Stoppers, and this post is an overview of all the big stuff in Premiere Pro CC 2015.3. One thing I want to point out, it's got a lot of good commentary towards the end of the post. The author talks about some of the benefits of being a Creative Cloud subscriber and a Premiere Pro user, so check that out. Definitely recommend it. The fourth Premiere Pro CC 2015.3 review comes from Red Shark, and this is just another great overview of all the big new stuff, all the fancy new toys we Premiere Pro users get with Premiere Pro CC 2015.3. Just to reiterate, the point of highlighting these reviews is different styles and voices are going to resonate with different Premiere Pro users, so I wanted to give everyone a fair chance at finding a blog post that they can get down with and learn about the new Premiere Pro CC 2015.3 features. And wrapping up the Premiere Pro CC 2015.3 reviews, we have yours truly, Premiere Bro, with his own Premiere Pro CC 2015.3 review. And what sets this one apart from the others is I'm calling this the user review. In this post, I feature tweets with thoughts and experiences of fellow Premiere Pro editors and their reactions to the new tools and features in Premiere Pro CC 2015.3. So if you're looking to learn about this exciting new release, specifically through the eyes of other Premiere Pro users, then I would recommend you check out this post and see what other peers and Premiere Pro editors are saying about Premiere Pro CC 2015.3. Thanks for reading. And here we are getting towards the end of Premiere Pro news and This Week in Premiere. And Adobe was at VidCon this week, and VidCon, I confess, don't know much about it. It appears to be an event geared towards content creators. Seems like a huge YouTube draw specifically. And that would explain this Adobe U tub. Literally a tub. I mean, I would get in it if I could attend VidCon. I mean, it's an Adobe tub. I mean, it's got like rubber duckies and stuff. And it's Adobe. So, yeah, this was a headline. In other news from Adobe Premiere Pro, but not any less serious, we have the new official Premiere Pro CC help page for working with VR video. And this is great information straight from the horse's mouth, as it were, on how to work with 360 and VR video inside Premiere Pro CC 2015.3. Give it a listen. This is a great recommended starting point for learning this new feature, and it's narrated by none other than Maxim Jago, who just has a voice and accent like butter. Give this video a watch. Yes, up next, Premiere Pro tips. These are nuggets of Premiere Pro wisdom left along the path by other Premiere Pro users, and Premiere Pro has picked them up and placed them in this video podcast for your amusement. Enjoy. First up, we got a Premiere Pro tip from Adobe Video World. Quick reminder, Adobe Video World is the best Adobe video training event you can go to, in my humble opinion. And that's coming up quickly, end of September. Check it out, adobevideoworld.com. And they've been running a special series of tips every Monday. They're putting out a Premiere Pro and After Effects tip. And this week they say, return to a specific section of your timeline. Shift plus I goes to the in point. Shift plus O goes to the out point. So if you're like me and you like dropping an in or an out point just as like a placeholder in the timeline, and then you go and do other work, you can quickly jump back to that in or out point where you were previously working by using Shift I or Shift O, depending on whether it's an in or an out point. Great tip. Thanks, Adobe Video World. Next tip comes from Chris Colton. Chris, I might add, is the new host of hashtag PostChat, a Twitter chat for post-production professionals, and that is every Wednesday evening. I believe it's 9 to 9:30 Eastern Time. Follow Chris on Twitter and you will never miss a post-chat announcement. Anyway, this week Chris shares holding down Control or Command while using the eyedropper samples 5x5 pixel area instead of just 1 pixel. Really cool. I did not know this. Had the opportunity to use it just the other day and I loved it. This makes your color sampling much more accurate because it's sampling an average of 5x5 pixels instead of 1, which reduces the chances of you accidentally picking some random bogus piece of artifact instead of the actual color you want. Great tip, Chris. Thanks for sharing. Alright, check this out. We got another hashtag map this shortcut tip from Dylan Osborne. This is a series of custom keyboard shortcuts that Dylan has been running the month of June. This week he says, select next or previous keyframe, easily move to keyframes without the mouse. Mine is Control L and Control J. And these are keyboard shortcuts that have been added in Premiere Pro CC 2015.3, which dramatically speed up your keyframing workflow in Premiere Pro because you're able to jump to and select the next or previous keyframe. So check that out and consider Dylan's recommendation, Control L and Control J. Thanks, Dylan. Next up, we have Premiere Pro tutorials. Everything you'll find in this section is totally and 100% free, created by Premiere Pro users for Premiere Pro users. Let's dive in. Kicking off this week in Premiere's Premiere Pro Tutorials is a written blog post from Screenlight.tv. Screenlight is an online video review and approval service. And this blog post is written by Paul Murphy, aka the Premiere Pro. I've had the privilege of meeting Paul on several occasions, and this guy knows his stuff. If there ever was an Adobe Premiere Pro trainer worthy of being called the Premiere Pro, it is he. And in this post, which I must add is not Premiere Pro specific, however, you will see that the screenshots are of Premiere Pro, so that makes it fair game for Week in Premiere. Anyway, this is an incredible blog post with some amazing tips and logic on media management on your system and in your NLE, and we'll just say Premiere Pro. Great stuff. Check this post out. Definitely in my top 5 for media management and file naming conventions and all that geeky stuff. So get your nerd on and read this post. Next, we have another Premiere Pro tutorial from Video Revealed. This week, Colin Smith, the main man at Video Revealed, teaches us subclip workflows in Premiere Pro. And subclips in simple terms is when you take your main video file, add some in and out points, and save that as its own little asset in your Premiere Pro project. You can treat it as its own clip. That's very simple terms, very simple definition for subclip in Premiere Pro. Colin Smith goes way deeper than that. Some really cool stuff, some unique and innovative uses for subclips in Premiere Pro. Check it out. See how it can help your workflow. Let's learn Premiere Pro. Hashtag LLPP. This video tutorial comes from Kyle Edward Wilson, the head of post-production at Phantom Media, which is a really cool corporate video production company up in Toronto. And in this episode of Let's Learn Premiere Pro, Kyle shows us how to do 360 video work in Premiere Pro. And one thing to note, this is not Premiere Pro CC 2015.3. So this is the ideal 360 video editing tutorial for Premiere Pro users who have held off updating to Premiere Pro CC 2015.3. If that's you, check out this tutorial. Here we have a tutorial from Motion Array teaching us masking and tracking in Premiere Pro CC. This is a really cool tutorial that shows you how to remove a logo on a moving object. Really powerful stuff, some really cool innovative uses of some Premiere Pro effects in this tutorial. Check it out. Motion Array is a stock library company with a lot of cool After Effects, Premiere Pro, and music stock assets. Check them out online. Here we have a written article from Shared Network Storage. They're a company that specializes in, as their name would suggest, shared network storage. In this article, they give 3 specific workflow strategies for Premiere Pro specifically. And rounding out this week in Premiere's Premiere Pro tutorials is a great video tutorial from Mike of Rocket Pencil Productions, and he teaches us how to reset Premiere Pro workspace layouts. This is a great tip if you've customized your workspace depending on your project needs, and all of a sudden you want to get back to the default. This tutorial shows you how to do that. As always, thanks for watching. Whether you made it all the way through or just skipped to this point, I appreciate you taking the time to check out this video podcast. It means a lot. Hope you found something useful or at least something interesting to follow. This video podcast was made using Adobe Spark Video, which is a really fun Adobe mobile or web app. I highly recommend you check it out. It's a lot of fun to use. And I just want to say one last time, this is only my 3rd video podcast. Still working out the kinks, finding my voice. Appreciate you hanging in there with me. And keep checking back for more Week in Premiere video podcasts. This is Sean School's Premiere Bro. See you next week.